Good evening and or morning or whatever time it is around the world, folks. Welcome back to my channel. Tonight we will attempt to summon some greatness, maybe even some glory, from the vintage Boss ME-8. Interesting fact, I found this in a bookstore, perfectly mint, in a plastic bag, with the power supply. And I couldn't resist, it was very cheap. I don't understand why things are the way they are here, but I'm grateful for it. So let's dive right in. I've got a camera, boop, focused in on the unit here in wide O vision, and I'm not sure if that'll be helpful or not, but there it is. You'll get to see me push some buttons. So here's the sound I've got dialed up. Yeah, so I basically got a metal zone dialed in with some reverb, delay, pitch shifter. It does all sorts of crazy things. Here's a fun thing that it really does. I'll just go ahead and show you this. It's got a control button that you can assign to different functions, and I've got it set to whammy bar. It's pretty cool. So if you do like a long dive, you also get sort of the up sweep again when you go to the next note. You can do some musical stuff with it. It's cool. So let's go ahead and look at some of the stuff in here. I've got the compressor on, and the way that you can sort of turn these off and on is you hit your edit button, and then it becomes sort of like a pedal board where you can turn things on and off. And not everything gets like a button assigned to it in this mode because there's so much stuff. So like sometimes the group represents reverb and the bank button in this case represents delay instead of switching between banks. So basically it's a preset machine. Like you put on the pedals that you want for a specific sound or preset, and then you just have those available to you in, I think, 5 banks or something to that effect. It's actually pretty cool. And sort of the highlight of this unit to me are the pedal models. I think the pedal models are fantastic. They're all analog drives, and I think they're pretty close to dead-on versions of the actual analog pedals. So let's actually go over here to our parameter, and we'll scooch the flashy blinky over to block number 2, which is overdrive, distortion, or external. And right now I've got the metal zone activated. Yeah, so very metal zoney. But if you look here, see it says HDS, heavy distortion. You've also got the DS, which is just like a DS1. And I'm going to leave the shmoo on because I like it. Don't judge me. So that's just a regular old DS1 model. And then I've got the compressor on too, which helps with the sustain and stuff. So maybe you're not getting a super accurate representation, but I'll go turn that off too eventually. Let's turn that off now. So this is what the distortion sounds like. I really like that. And I left the delay and the reverb and the pitch shifter on, so let's go in and turn those off so you can really hear it truly naked. I like it. And just because it's a tradition, here's my basic sound. So this is kind of the cleanish sound I'm running this into. Okay, so we'll turn this back on now that you've heard my clean sound. Let's go check out another pedal. Here is the BD, which is Blues Driver. So you can kind of hear it's got that fat kind of grittiness of the Blues Driver. Okay, forgive me, lords of classic rock and blues. Next, we've got the turbo overdrive. So this is like the OD2 with the turbo engaged. All right, and then we've got the regular overdrive. So I really think this sounds a lot like the actual Boss pedals that it represents. It's really good. It's a really nice overdrive. I like it. All right, and the next one is, that's it. Something else I should point out, it has external, which is a loop that allows you to loop in another overdrive. So you can use that instead of one of these selected overdrives. So there's that option there. But I like this one, the heavy distortion. It's so ridiculous. It's very much the Metal Zone sound with that crazy like mid-range thing. I just like to play it. I think it's even better than a regular Metal Zone. Yeah. Fun. Now we're going to turn on the compressor, which, true to Boss form, to me it sounds a lot like a CS2 or a CS3. It's great for adding sustain to leads. It's pretty good for chicken picking also and various other perplexity endeavors. But to me it's solid for adding sustain to a lead. And it'll still let you chug too, which is cool. Sweet. Okay, so now let's just check out the compressor by itself. Maybe without this, the delay and the reverb. We'll turn those off. Uh-oh, that's still a lot of delay. That's fun. Very cool. Let's turn our distortion back on, and we'll switch over to just the regular distortion. And I'll show you a hilarious part of this tool, which is the block number 3, which has either a humanizer or an equalizer. The equalizer is great for dialing in the distortions, especially if you want to get this DS1 really accurate to the Boss DS1. But we're going to use the humanizer function to simulate Johnny 5. And you can actually go in and set which vowel structure you want. So you can either have like vowel 1 and vowel 2. So we have A going to I, so it says I, but you can change it to be something like this. E. E, so your guitar can just say E. So if your guitar gets really excited because the drummer does something cool, it can go E. E. That is so funny. E. Stupid. Okay, let's go back to I, because this is the best one. Sort of the Miku pedal before there was a Miku pedal. It's really ridiculous. Even when you're shredding like sextuplets, you still hear the I blaring through it, and it's really silly. Why? Ah, it's so stupid. I love it. Hilarious. All right. So I think that's about as much of the Boss ME-8 I care to explore in this particular video. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it as comical as I did. Maybe the effects aren't quite as good as some other units, but the pedal simulations are really good. They're dead on, in my opinion. And like, I've got some pretty good examples of vintage Boss made in Japan pedals that I've compared it to, and they're really good, in my opinion, especially for the money these go for. Like, if you're just interested in trying out a swath of vintage Boss overdrives, I think this is your ticket for getting as close as you're going to get in any other way for the money. So that's my demo of the Boss ME-8. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Like and subscribe if you care to. If not, that's fine too. Hope you're all well. Have a good night, everybody.